Howdy friends, welcome back to the Eclectic Sam YouTube channel and welcome to my eclectic corner of YouTube, where I predominantly talk about reselling on eBay and reselling in general. But from time to time we may go on a little trip, may go check out a museum or two, may talk about history or other things that I enjoy in my eclectic life. Before we get started, you see down below that subscribe button. If you hadn't already, go ahead and hit that. It helps me out, plus it gives you the ability to see what's coming in the future. Today is kind of exciting for me because it is Thanksgiving weekend and I'm off with the family on a little trip to Bombshells Beach, North Carolina. If you see behind me, we've got the nice beach there and the ocean, and also behind me there's a missile stand that let me tell you about that real quick. If you see here that big tower right out there, that is one of the experimental missile towers. This is tower number 6 here on Bombshells Beach, and if you see, there's a pier going out that used to be there, that's no longer there. But these missile towers were built in right after World War II, and they were used to assemble and also shoot off the ramjet missiles that the Navy tested here. And there were several of these towers along the beach, down Bombshells Beach. And this actual naval mission was called Operation Bumblebee. There's a lot of really neat things about it on the internet. If you have time, go online and check it out. Well, there's a little bit of neat history there about these missile buildings out here in Bombshells Beach. It's real neat. I advise you to go, if you're a history buff or a military buff, go online and check out about those. It's pretty neat history. There are some that have been built into houses, and there's a couple that are left like this that are just derelict. It is kind of roped off to where you can't get right up in it, but it's neat history nonetheless. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. We're going to do a little what's sold on eBay video, and of course it's a little bit better backdrop than my eBay building today. The first item is kind of a good start because we're at the ocean, is the Navy and Civil War book. It's a 1903 book. This came from the big lot of Civil War books that I bought a while back, and I paid about $1 a piece for them. This book sold for $17.24. I took a best offer with free shipping. Next up, we sold a lot of 2 REI brand shirts. I had $10 invested in those from a local thrift store. And those sold for $22 with plus shipping. And that's a good example of, if you find something that's not necessarily high dollar item, you can group them together with similar items and sell it as a group and make more money. So that was a good little sale there. Next up is a baseball card that I pulled from one of my baseball card packs that I bought recently. It was an autographed Carlos Hernandez card, and it sold for $5.99 plus shipping. Next is something you need to look out for when you're just generally out. You know, these could be at yard sales just in the corner or whatever. Usually can buy them cheap. Is vintage cans, tin cans from different things. This was a vintage baby formula tin can from probably about the 20s. I paid $1 for it from a auction lot that I bought, and it sold for $24.99 with free shipping. Next up is some of the military items that I got from Dad that he was getting rid of. This was a silver-toned Navy ring, sold for $25 with free shipping. Got the garbage truck over there in the side, so that's what that beeping is. Imagine, just right when I'm doing a video, that would happen. Next up is a Nautica men's, vintage men's long sleeve dress shirt. Sold for $9.34 plus shipping. And I paid $2 for that at a local thrift store. Next up is another Western shirt. Y'all know that I really like selling the Western shirts. This is a Rock and Roll Cowboy by Panhandle Slim shirt. It was on sale, sold for $16.14 with free shipping. So always, like I always say, keep an eye out for those Western shirts. They sell quick when you list them. Next is something neat that's going to be in everybody's junk drawer, especially older folks. If you want to know about making money from junk drawer lots, go check out one of my previous videos. But this was a lot of 5. They're little bitty key tags that look like license plates. And what they were the veterans, disabled veterans of America back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s sold these to match your license plate that you could put on your keys. It was just a money raiser thing for them. This was a lot of 5 of them for $14.99 with free shipping. And that actually sold in the first 5 minutes of listing it. So that's one of those, did I list it too low or what? Next up is another Western shirt. This is a vintage Carhartt denim shirt. These always sell well for me. This one was on sale at the time. Sold for $35. And I had $5 into that. That came from an estate lot that I bought out and sold a lot of the clothing from. These are waxed denim, where they kind of shiny denim. Shirts always sell very well. Next up, go Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series, is a Nike Andrew Jones youth size jersey, and it sold for $21.99 plus shipping. And I got that from a local thrift store for $5. Next up is a good example of, just because a shirt doesn't have a brand on it doesn't mean that it's not worth anything if the tag is cut out or whatever. This shirt was a real unique kind of tiki themed bowling shirt. The tag had been cut out of it, so I did measure it, tell people the measurements and all, and I just put all the identifying descriptive words that you could talk about it: embroidered tiki bowling shirt. And it sold fairly quick, sold for $19.99 with free shipping. And that came from my personal collection of shirts that I'm clearing out. And next we have another book. It was the White House of the Confederacy Pictorial book. This came from the Civil War book lots that I got. Sold for $8.49 with free shipping. And of course that goes by media mail, so you know, shipping's only a couple of bucks for that. And next we have another one of those rings. This was a gold tone U.S. Navy ring, and I took a best offer on it for $29.74 with free shipping. And that came from the same lot of stuff that I got from my dad. Next up, y'all know that I'm selling off some of my statues from my collection that aren't going with the way that I'm doing my redecorating. And this one was a Wonder Woman DC Bombshells vinyl statue. I took a best offer of $67.49 plus shipping. And I actually remember where I got that. That was one of the last items I bought from Toys R Us before they closed down. And I paid $15 for that. So that was a good profit. And, you know, holding on to stuff like that sometimes is a good investment. Finally, we have a men's Cutter and Buck long sleeve pullover golf windbreaker. Cutter and Buck isn't a big name to buy to resell. Doesn't have a good return on it, but This case came off the dollar rack at my local thrift store, so I only paid $1 for it, and it sold for $12 plus free shipping. Keep an eye out at your local thrift stores. Sometimes stuff that's been on the rack for a long time, they do dollar racks where they'll put the stuff on there to get rid of it. Sometimes you can make good money off of those, even though it's not as desirable stuff. You're only paying $1 for it, so you can risk buying it and, you know, selling it for $15, $20 or whatever. That's a good extra line of reseller income. But that's everything that I'm showing you on this video. I hope you enjoyed what we had up for sale, and I hope you enjoyed the backdrop here. It brought you along with my my little vacation that I'm taking. I'm not going around doing any museums because a lot of the places are closed, being Thanksgiving week. I did go do a little thrift haul the other day. Probably in the next week I'll get that together when I get back home and show you what I got there. Wasn't a lot of stuff, but there's a few cool items. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, and always comment down below any suggestions or questions, or just say hi. I'd love to say hi back to you. But until next time, my friends, I love you. Bye.